What's up guys, how's it going? Today we're gonna learn how to build a simple modal with the dialog tag. So I have this basic HTML which has some dummy content. It also has this button which says open my modal, and then also some content and some JavaScript which I have commented out. So this is what it looks like. I've also added some basic CSS. So let's create the modal. So if I click on this button, that should open up the modal. So after this button, we're gonna add a modal. We don't need the open attribute. We'll talk about it later. So we have this dialog element with an ID of modal, and we have a little bit of content, and also we have a button, close button. And now we need to add a little bit of JavaScript. So I've already added them here. So first we need to select three things. We need to select the modal, the actual modal element, the open button, and the close button. And we need to add a click event listener to the open button to open the modal. To open the modal, you just need to call the show modal method from the modal, and that should open up the modal. And if I click on this button, and it has opened up the modal, and this is the default view of modal without any default styles. It also has a backdrop which you can also customize. And if you want to close the modal, just use the close method, which I have also added to the close button, and it closes the modal. Okay, as simple as that. Now there is another method called modal.show. So I'm just gonna comment it out and just add show. And it also opens up the modal, but it's not actually a modal. It's actually a pop-up. So if I just use modal.show, then I can select the background. I can interact with the background. But if I use show modal, that will actually act as a modal. So if I click on this, now I cannot interact with the background. I cannot select the text. So that's the difference. You can also add an open attribute. So dialog, and let's add open. And it opens up automatically. You don't need to click anywhere. It opens up as a pop-up, not as a modal. Okay. And it is also not recommended by the docs. So most probably you are gonna open them by some kind of event listener with a button. So that's the basic use case of the dialog element. You get some extra feature if you are using form inside the dialog. So I'm gonna comment this out, and I'm gonna use this example. Pretty simple. We have this dialog element, and inside that we have a form, an input box, and a button with a type submit. So if I open up the modal, we have this input, I type something, I click on submit, and it submits the form. But what if you want to close the modal without submitting the form? And also you want to store the user input. You can do that with JavaScript, but you can also do that with HTML. Just add a method to the form, and the value will be dialog. Now, if I click on it, type something, submit, and open up the modal again, you can see we still have the input, but it also didn't submit the form. But there is actually a problem if I add another button, and this one is cancel. So this one is actually for submitting the form, and this one is actually closing the modal and also storing the user input. If I open up the modal, type something, and hit on submit, it still doesn't submit the form because we have the dialog method here. So that's actually a problem because you also want user to submit the form. So I'm gonna comment this out, and we're gonna use this example. It's actually same as before, but we have a form method attribute to the cancel button, which is also dialog. And we have also removed the method from the form tag. Now if I open up the modal and just type something and hit submit, it submits the form. You don't see the user input. But now if I type again and hit cancel, it didn't submit the form, and we also see the user input. So that's a really good feature from the dialog element. And also you can just hit escape key to close the modal, which is a nice feature also. You can also customize the dialog tag. So I have also written some basic styles. So I'm just gonna uncomment this. And if I open up the modal, and we have some styles. You can also style the backdrop. The backdrop is actually a pseudo element. If I inspect this inside the dialog, and we have this pseudo element. And you can also select it normally. So I have added a background of black with transparency and a blur. And this is what it looks like. And our backdrop is now customized. So yeah, that's all the thing that I wanted to show you about dialog tag. It's really useful. So if the video has been helpful for you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.